Do you care at all about the NBA Cup? I mean, we won
right.
the quarterfinals or whatever. So now, should we care?
We talked about this last year.
I know, but now we're in it. Now we're going to Vegas, baby. So do we care more?
I've gone back and forth with this. Is like, what's our care on the cup, right? And here's the thing: is this goes back to getting confidence with the team at this point.
Yeah.
And we don't have Chet, and that's quite obvious to anybody that watches the game. But we still have the best defense in the NBA without our anchor. So to me, this is all about confidence and what this team can do and stepping up at the right time. And we've seen Shea put some incredible games up here during the Cups games. So for me, like, if Shea wants this like he looks like he does, then fuck yeah, let's go for it. Let's get it.
Yeah, I think, anything that builds confidence, but of course we're not going to like assign any special meaning to it. It's, like Shea said after the game, it feels almost like a playoff game, a little bit more than a regular season game, something extra to play for. That's cool. We'll go with that. But what's really exciting is the level of play that this team is experiencing.
Oh yeah.
Like, first of all, this is the best defense we've ever seen in Oklahoma City. One of the best defenses ever. There's arguments to say we might be the best defense ever when it's all said and done. We're leading the league in, the history of the league in the combination of steals and blocks, stocks as we call them. So that's, one sign. It's not the only sign, but there's a lot of things to like. It reminded me, playing the Mavs, how we put pressure on 94 feet felt a lot like how the Mavs hit us in the playoffs. And there was just no easy passes. There was no easy dribbles. There was nothing ever easy. And, granted, like, we're not going to win every game like that. Like, we almost gave one away. Who's the game we just played? The Pelicans, right? Like,
Yep.
We played 94 feet. We played 3.5 quarters, and then they put on a run in the fourth. But, like, when we play this style, like, we're so good. We're so good on both ends. This is just, it's incredible to watch. This is a really, really special treat.
Yeah, and the game, 14 points. For those who watched it, there was this moment that they couldn't do anything. The only way they scored was because of Luka's like deep three, and like, to me, like, and you had Clay that was hitting some clutch threes there as well. But like, my point is that they got an offensive board, and Clay got the ball, it went to him, and he hit a three. There was freak things that happened that they were able to score on. But the crazy thing is that our defense was so locked down that if it wasn't for those, essentially those 9 points that they scored from 3-point land, like, this game would have been over halfway through the fourth quarter. And it really was, for all intents and purposes. But you can't just stop playing against the Mavericks. You can't put your second team out there until you got a minute left in the game, because like, they're going to keep on coming. And then that's exactly what happened. Was they put their little runs on, but we would come back with another run. And this team is so built so well that whether it's Hartenstein and the 10 points and 13 rebounds and 3 assists and all the other things that he did, it was just really impressive, and you go to the 14 steals that we had, and we had more than we usually have on turnovers, which is 13. I don't like to see that number. That's a little bit high for us. But that's what we need. And to be able to beat a team when I don't know, like, it wasn't the best game from our supportive cast at all, but it was good enough with Shea playing as well as he did. And that's where I get excited about. And Kenny Hustle's 9 points in the first half was really great. You had Cason Wallace, who had 5 straight points in that fourth quarter on a huge run, hit a 3, and then came back and got a alley-oop dunk. Like, it was such a beautiful, beautiful game that this young team put together. It was just fun.
Yeah, we saw Shea put up a vintage performance. There's a lot of history in Oklahoma City, but I think without a doubt, he's the smoothest offensive player we've ever seen. And what he can do without it even looking like he's breaking a sweat is unbelievable. And so we're in a special spot there. Like, and then matching him out there with J-Dub, we're not getting Chet, but we're getting the Hartenstein experience. And now I have a question about Cason Wallace. I'm like, does this guy have a legit chance to be great? Like to be great? Because I'm starting to get this idea that maybe he's the next level. Like, what do you think?
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. First of all, what happened last night with Kaysen and the first quarter? I think it was like 9-7 or something like that. And Luca finally got a switch from Dort, got off of Dort, and he immediately attacked Kaysen Wallace. And, Kaysen Wallace cut that off. And Luca had to go back to his right. Kaysen cut that off. And then Luca had to try to finish strong, and Kaysen made it so it was impossible to finish. Like, that's exactly what we need to see from Kaysen, to be able to say, yeah, he's not only a good defender, but he's already top 5, I think, in steals in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, dude is everywhere, and he's creating issues with it doesn't matter who you are. You're Luca, he's going to create issues. And Luca's like 4 inches taller than him. So this is exactly what we need to see from Kaysen. And to me, the way the flow of the game went, I was beyond shocked that we only shot 7 free throws last night. Kaysen did a great job getting to the hole a couple times, and in my opinion, got fouled and didn't get to the free throw line. I saw this, like, it's so easy to get in that mentality, like, we're not getting any calls. We got to stop doing this, we got to stop doing that. But what I saw from Kaysen, what I saw from Dort, what I saw from J-Dub was, we're not getting the calls, but we got to attack the hole still. And they attacked, and they attacked, and they attacked. And that's exactly what we need to have for our supporting cast around Shea, especially in the starting lineup, is we need to have guys that can attack. And I think it was J-Dub shot 0 for 3, Dort 3 for 7, and Kaysen 3 for 9 from 3-pointers. So they did not shoot incredibly well. And that's okay. They got to the hole, and that was the most important thing.
Yeah. Like, keep that pressure on, and keep it on all game. The way that we turn defense into offense, special. It's like, balls out, we're running, bucket, over, next possession. Like, and we don't like stand around and like celebrate it. We're back, we're ready, we want another steal. It's special what coach has been able to do. You got to give him credit.
Not just a little bit of credit, but a lot of credit, because you got to look at this defense. And what we said last year was, we talked about, I want to say it was the pyramid, defensive pyramid aspect, is you start off with a young coach and a young team, and you're like, okay, this is our goal to get to this level in 5 years. And you start taking small steps to becoming that. And we saw it, our defense on fast breaks and causing so that teams couldn't take fast breaks in the beginning. That's what we started with. We started the basics, then we got better each season. And then last year, I remember you and I talked about, we're top 5 in all the defensive stats, essentially the good stats. Why can't we be top? Well, we can, because we have room to grow. And that was the biggest thing that we always talked about, is the room to grow in the exceeding expectations on defense every single year. And if we continue to do that, we can talk about this year being the best defensive year ever in the NBA, because the stats are there. There's a lot of people that are saying it, like, this team is special, right? But we're not talking about that, because we know that this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the pyramid. You got to create your base, and you got to create it so well that it lasts the time, lasts the influence in time, in a time where offense rules everything. You got a defense is going to be known as one of the greatest defense of all time. And it's not going to be 1 year. It's going to be a decade of defense. And that's how good this is. And you talk about NFL. You want to go and talk about the NFL. You want to talk about the steel curtain. You want to talk about these other defenses that have stood the time, and the bad boys, the Pistons, right? The bad boy Pistons, right? Like, all these teams that have stood the time, that their defense is so much spectacular, or so much better than everybody else in the league. And to me, that's where we're talking about right now. It's not a year, not 2 years, not 3 years. This is going to be a decade of lockdown defense. And we have the best defense in the league, and we don't have probably top 3 defenders playing right now. And just let that soak in. Like, you don't have Chet, right? Jalen Williams is a great defender. Caruso just got back. Caruso just got back. Like, these guys are still getting healthy. And I'm telling you, this is just the beginning, and it's going to be something great.
There's something to love about that rotation when a team finally gets a little bit into a groove, which it's very difficult against our starters because, like Hartenstein says, like there's no defensive weakness on this team at all. First time he's ever been on a team like that. So like if you're in a spot where you kind of are like, now we're going to our bench, or now they're getting into a groove, they finally figure it out, and then Caruso comes in. Like Caruso is a single man wrecking ball. Like he creates all sorts of issues. He's capable of scoring in bunches or helping the team score in bunches through ball movement and things that weren't there before he got in the game. So that's something they have to account for. And then on top of that, he creates so many deflections and things like that. Like our second unit, there's 3 guys on that second unit that belong as starters in the NBA, and they're okay with being great in their role. And maybe 4 when you get Jay Will back, and when you say, hey, Kenny, might have more he could offer. There's a team like the Lakers that could really benefit from him when he's healthy. So you can get really deep with this team and say, like, we've really got some special talent, not just on the top end. I feel like somehow we're still not talking about J-Dub and Shea enough. But, we also need to give the credit to the bottom of that roster, the back of the bench, because these guys are playing their butts off. And the reason we're winning these games the way we are is because there's no letdown when you go to the bench.
There's not. I mean, and that's the great thing about it when you have J-Dub putting 32, Isaiah Hartenstein putting 30. You got Shea 38, 32 for Dort, 31 for Queso, right? Then you get into the bench. You got Kenny Hustle 17, Alex Caruso 22, Isaiah Joe 17, and then Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell with 9 and 10 each. So to me, like that's exactly what you need to see. And then you look at their stats and like 9 points here, 9 points there, right? Guys are getting it. Their market said it perfectly. There's no letdown when we're going to our bench, and those minutes that we're using our bench is it's getting quite guarded, I guess you could say. We're used to seeing 12 guys play, 10 guys play every single game, and coaches using 10, 12 guys, but he's not using them at the numbers that you typically use those guys. And
right.
That's where I'm excited, because it just shows you that we're finding health and a healthy time in the NBA. And just let that sink in, because right now you can look at any single team and one of their big players are out, or one of their star defenders are out, or everybody's hurting right now. And if you look at what's happening with Oklahoma City, we're still able to go 10, 11 deep, even though we shouldn't necessarily be doing it, but we are, because we have the talent that's been stepping up with AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins, who's obviously consistently incredible. Caruso, that's coming off of injury. Man, he's playing so well right now. Isaiah Joe, lockdown shooter. Kenny Hustle, who has a resurgence this year, guys. This is exactly what we need from this team stepping up, because you put Kenny Hustle out there and he creates all sorts of type of issues. He gets guys fired up on the opposite side, and it's not like a good fired up. They get really frustrated with the way they're playing, because he just continues to talk trash and get in their head. And I fucking love Kenny Hustle, bro.
Gotta love it, dude. Yo, before we get out of here, let's talk real quick about what's going on with the draft. The Sixers started winning some games. Out of the teams with, I think they have like 7 wins or something like that.
Sure.
They are 5-5 in the last 10. So they're the only ones who are actually winning some games that have 7 wins. They're trending more to getting out of that top 6 spot, which we're all cheering for, because then we can get their pick. That's something to keep an eye on. So that's going our direction, even though it's not exactly where we want it yet. I think that's going to turn out okay. The other one is the Clippers. Watching that one start to fall a little bit, that's been exciting too. Both of those, and then the wild card of Miami. That's a lottery protected, so that could be something really juicy too. What are you watching right now with our picks? This is like our own little horse race thing.
Yeah. All right. So let's get down to it, because I've been definitely watching it. We're sitting with the Clippers at 21.
Right. We want that to around 18. Get us 17, 18 on that.
No, I still think the Clippers are going to still fall around 11, 10.
Okay.
I think they're going to continue to drop.
Stay greedy, my friend.
I could be wrong here, but I don't see Kawhi coming back anytime
Yeah, he
soon. I
hasn't
just don't.
practiced yet. So
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that's
Norm
it. Those
Powell's fading a little bit, maybe.
That's it. And then, like, other teams in the West are starting to step up. It's just a matter of time before they start ticking downwards. And they've
Okay.
had a good beginning of the season. Miami. Now check this out with Miami. Jimmy Butler's on the trading block with Miami, and
Oh,
Miami's
really?
sitting at number 20 right now. If Miami's pick goes inside the 14, then
Yeah.
it's their pick. So that one, there's a good chance that we're not going to touch that one, because if they trade Jimmy Butler, and they drop, let me think here, it would be 1, 2, 3. They would have to drop 3 positions, and then they would be out of that. So that's Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Milwaukee that could jump above them. Who knows? We'll see with that. But the one that we're obviously tracking incredibly close is the Philadelphia 76ers, which their pick right now is at number 6. All right.
Right.
So we know what happens when you have the 6th worst record in the NBA. We know how unlucky and how lucky you can get very quickly. So for me, I'm keeping an eye on that. The Philadelphia 76ers, I do believe, will end up being anywhere between 12 and 16, but
Okay.
that's as far as they're going to climb right there. They're not going to climb much more than that. I do think that they're going to make a trade. I don't know what type of trade they're going to do, but Mark and I have gone back and forth whether you trade Maxey or you try to trade Embiid right now. I say you try to trade Embiid, and I say you try to trade him with a team like the Pelicans or something like that. You got a couple superstars or semi-superstars that need to reset, or pick Los Angeles Lakers and get AD for him. Like, you make it up at this point what you want and what you can get for it. But the reality is that I don't think that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to jump more than 10 spots in this next draft. So the Philadelphia 76ers would have to pass Chicago, Indiana, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Miami in order to get to that spot. So they have a long ways to go up. So I'm kind of circling that, and you know what? I don't really care. I mean, we get what we get, but if I'm a betting man, I'm going Los Angeles Clippers at number 11, right? Just because, why not number 11?
Why not?
We can go 12 if you guys would like. I like number 11 and 12
like
over the way
11.
we've gone. And then I'm betting in on Philadelphia 76ers as being a top 10 pick.
Really?
Because again, I don't think that they can jump up as much as they need to with as injury prone as they've been. I don't think they can jump 3 teams at this point. They're going to have a hard time with the East, as much as that the East is greedy and trying to get picks right now. I just don't think that they're going to end up getting more than 30 or maybe 40 wins, 38 wins for the East, which is going to put them in top 10 pick this year.
So, I mean, if we're fortunate, we could end up with maybe something like 10 and 11, 11, 12, 12 and 8, like some variation of that. Like, it's probably unlikely to get anything better than that. But with that,
listen, we've got to start looking at it as like this: is that we've got guys that are going to be coming up on their 3rd contract. So like Kenny Hustle, Isaiah Joe, these guys like that are, we just signed Isaiah Joe, but we've got to keep that in perspective. So if we got 2 lottery picks this next year, we could take those 2 and move it up into the top 5, which, a team that's rebuilding for the longevity of it, taking, 10 and 11 or 10 and 12, they might enjoy that more than having a number 5. But I still say we keep those 2 picks,
right,
and we draft, and we are essentially, placing those 2 players where we believe are going to be the fill-ins for the future, because we know we can get a player in a strong draft like J-Dub, or a really strong draft like Shea. So, and this is like one of those drafts. You can see the top end, and people are talking about the top 5 picks that literally could go, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, like everybody has a lock on Cooper Flag right now, but like, again, anything is possible this year in the draft, and it's exciting.
Yeah, there's some rumblings either way on that, but there's a lot of excitement about the top 5. But one thing that I've seen with Presti, and really even just like with Shea being picked with the Clippers, like, you can get a lot of value out of the 11th pick. We've got 11 and 12. You get Shea, you get J-Dub, you get Kaysen. All these guys came from right in that range, and more. And so, with that said, stay tuned, my friends. It's not just about us. We get to cheer for other people to lose as we win. It's like going to Vegas and knowing you're going to come out a winner either way because you already got laid.
That's
That's
it,
right,
baby.
guys.
All right, we'll see you soon.